So I've decided to make a video on being productive. I have no choice in life but to be productive, and I'll explain why in a second. But basically, yeah, I'm usually against the whole oh, you have to be productive constantly ethos that I think is really instilled by capitalist America. They want us to work constantly, and to what end? So there's a difference between personal productivity and productivity in, the corporate sense of the word. But moving on. So anyone who knows me knows I'm really into personality test, Myers-Briggs. I'm an ENTP, and lately I've been really into Enneagram, and I'm a Type 7 Enneagram. So that means that I am constantly looking for a new thrill in life, and I can't settle down that easily. So personality tests have taught me a ton about myself. If you've never taken Myers-Briggs, I strongly encourage it, just because it can help you to figure out your strengths, your weaknesses. My Myers-Briggs tells me that I'm really into debating, and that I'll oftentimes have an opinion that might not be the norm, just because I like to be the devil's advocate and super logical thinker. So that's partly why I even decide to put myself out there. I'm able to see a lot of different sides and perspectives, whereas a lot of people kind of get caught into this one way of thinking. That's not how I do things. But anyways, that's an aside. So this is a new one that I decided to try. It was the Enneagram, because I've always been very Myers-Briggs, ENTP. But it can teach you so much about yourself, reading about it, because I was reading my personality type 7. It said, will get anxious if they're not being productive. And I was like, holy shit, that is so me. Because the times when I've had the worst anxiety and daily panic attacks, it's usually either I was between jobs, or I was just not being my usual productive self. And so it's almost a matter of life and death for me. I really have no choice but to be productive. And so yeah, today I got the spark of creative energy. So I was like, oh, I need to make this video. So I came and made this video. So that's just an example. You have to take that energy, convert it to something that is productive to you. Not necessarily writing or making a video, but whatever you consider productive. It's different for every person. For me, it's just about developing skills, kind of like Sims. I used to play Sims as a child, and so I always think of the little bar. So I'm working on my guitar today. My guitar has gone up from 6 to 7. Obviously not quantifiable like that, but if I master a song, that's productive to me. If I write a blog, writing is something that I do on a daily basis in my career, and so it's a skill that I need to develop. I need to write constantly. So I thought I'd make this video my top tips for how to be productive. So first of all, what's productive to me, what I consider to be productive. So when I go to bed and I'm did I do enough today to warrant it being a good day? I think it differs a lot from what most people think. So I spend a lot of time playing guitar lately, which, I'm not going to be a musician in any way. That ship has totally sailed for me. But I kind of think of productivity as gaining new skills, and I want to be a mom. I've always known that. And so let's say I have a kid with a musical affinity, I'll be able to teach him how to play guitar and how to sing and all these different things. So my definition of productivity might differ from most people's, in that even gaining skills that I'm not utilizing in my own life, just being able to one day maybe pass those on to my kids, I consider that. So first of all, when you get that creative urge, do not fight it, because it might be you're watching a movie or hanging out with friends, and then for me, it just sometimes out of nowhere, just learning to really, when that moment hits you, just go lock yourself in a room, write down all your ideas, really capitalizing on that moment, because for me, it can last hours, usually not days, but I'll sometimes go through like a productive week. It kind of goes through phases. But generally speaking, when that moment hits, kind of excusing yourself, lock yourself in a room. My second tip is figure out the time of day that's most productive to you. I'm super lucky in that I kind of create my own schedule at my current job. So I know, like, for me, I'm nocturnal pretty much. Like, if it's up to me, I would, work from like 4 to midnight or something because my brain kind of like turns on in the evening, which sucks in terms of like what society expects out of you. But, I've shifted my schedule to come in later in the morning, like 11, so that I can capitalize on those productive hours later at night. It's something that I've recently learned. Turn your phone off when you're trying to get work done. And that to me has been like super life changing because if I'm really trying to get work done, now I'll just put my phone on airplane mode. Like fucking toss it across the room if you have to. Turn it off, like set a time limit for yourself. Okay, so for 3 hours, my phone's off. Because what I found I was doing, I'll like be typing up a blog, but then, oh, I get a text. Oh, someone's video calling me. So all of this, it ruins, like I said, that moment, the moment of clarity. So that creative spark might be gone by the time you are done texting or video chatting. You never know how long it's going to last. So, yeah, definitely turn your phone off. Say, I'm going to work for 3 hours. Forget about it. Forget about your phone. It's a distraction. In general, I find that I am most productive like in the times when I haven't had a phone. Recently, I dropped my phone in a lake, and then I was phoneless for 2 weeks, but I was journaling, constantly. Basically, all those thoughts that I usually share with people on text, I was writing down, and writing is a form of thinking. So, my thoughts it was helping me formulate my thoughts. So, in general, yeah, fuck a phone. So, lastly, I would say choose your friends wisely because there are some people who almost drain you of creative energy, I feel like. And I've tried over the years to sort of cut those people out of my life, maybe people who are too much drama. I don't have time for any of that. And so I choose now to associate myself with people who I think bring out like my better qualities. So, one of my best friends, we will like riff for hours just like making jokes and so after I'm with him I feel like my brain has been turned on almost, and so I'm able to like go and channel that energy that I had from my conversation with him into something tangible. So figure out which friends bring out the best in you and help you to harness your talent and creativity, and figure out maybe which people in your life are draining you of that.